Today we'll be covering what is good posture and some exercises that you can do to improve your posture. A good posture is being able to stand up tall with your ears centered over your shoulders and your thumbs pointing forward so you know they're not rounded. This is how you know you're in an upright, tall position. We're going to be focusing on our spine and how that impacts our posture. Our spine has three components. It is our cervical spine, our thoracic spine, and our lumbar spine. And each part of the spine has its own different curves. Our cervical spine has 7 vertebrae and naturally has some extension. Our thoracic spine has 12 vertebrae and naturally has some flexion. And our lumbar spine has 5 vertebrae and again naturally has some extension, which means our spine kind of curves in a couple different directions. We're going to be starting with the cervical spine and some exercises to help improve that positioning. Our goal with the cervical spine is to get rid of that chin poke, head forward position. So that means we need to learn how to tilt our head correctly and the proper amount of extension through the cervical spine. With those two positions, we can apply some exercises to improve the muscles in that area. So we need to be able to tilt our head by bringing our chin to our Adam's apple. This often creates a double chin look, which people try to avoid. So you want to create that double chin because then you know you have the right amount of tilt in the cervical spine. And you want to kind of think about just having your head so your ears are centered over your shoulders. So this is a neutral or a good position for your cervical spine. We'll be applying those principles to the next exercise here. Future Chris here. The one caveat I want to say about having a good posture is that it's really important to be able to achieve a good posture, but your best posture is your next position. It's really important to always be moving and changing positions as frequently as you can and having the ability to have a good posture when it's really important and having that to always fall back onto. We're going to work on cervical rotation in a 4-point position. So you're going to be on your hands and knees. First, I'm going to try and find that good position by tilting my chin, bringing it towards my Adam's apple, and I'm elongating the back of my neck by trying to have my ears centered over where my shoulders would be. Now that I'm in the proper position, all I'm going to do is rotate my head side to side. As I rotate up towards the ceiling, I should be feeling tightness in the muscles of my neck as I get to my end of range. What we don't want is our head pointing forward and we're trying to turn our head with our chin pointing towards the wall in front of us. We want to make sure we have our chin in that nice tilted position, elongating the back of our neck. To make this exercise easier, I can start by having my back against the wall, trying to think about finding that position, bringing my chest up to center my ears over my shoulders, and then just turning side to side. You can also do this laying down in bed if you need an easier version of this exercise to kind of help. I often start this as a beginner kind of prelude to the 4-point position, especially in people who have some whiplash. So this is a good regression. To make this exercise more challenging, you can add a resistance band on the back of your head. So by having the resistance band, you're just going to place it above the ears. Start where the band is just taut, not applying a lot of resistance, finding that appropriate head posture, cervical retraction, tilt the chin, and then you're turning your head into the resistance band. You want to do this nice and controlled, thinking it's a 1-2 count from side to side. You can do this for 2 to 3 sets of anywhere from 6 to 15 repetitions per side, starting with a lighter band to make it easier here. This helps train the retractors in our neck and our deep neck flexors as we hold that chin tilt position. Now we're going to look at the thoracic spine. And there's 2 movements we really want to have fluid in our thoracic spine to allow good posture. We need good thoracic extension, so getting out of that stooped or flexed or kyphotic posture, so good extension. And we need good thoracic rotation, so being able to turn. That helps us to extend our thoracic spine more. So here's the 2 exercises for extension and rotation. For extension, we're going to start prone or on our stomach with the prone cobra, a pretty popular yoga position. What you're going to do is you're going to have your thumbs in line with your eyebrows, about 90 degrees from your elbows. From here, you're keeping your hips on the ground, your butt cheeks relaxed, and your low back relaxed as you just press up with your arms. Just trying to get the mobility through that upper back here, trying to round. Now you will feel this in your lumbar area as well. For when I'm doing this, I like to try and just keep my neck, and I'm not trying to like look up as tall as I can. I'm just keeping my neck whatever is comfortable because I'm really trying to focus on the upper back here. Now to progress this exercise, you can bring your hands closer together to force more extension through the thoracic spine. So this is going to force you to lift up higher. Making sure that you're keeping your hips down and that you're not lifting up at the hips. Eventually, what you can be progressing to is to a version of just using your erector muscles to help add some resistance. So having your arms kind of at your head level, lifting up, holding for a 1 to 3 count and down. This will help strengthen the erector spinae. You can do this for 2 to 3 sets, anywhere from 8 to 12 reps for a 3 to 5 count hold. For the passive one, working on the mobility, you want to be doing 2 sets of anywhere from 15 to 20 repetitions to really just get that nice passive mobility through the thoracic spine. A little bit of a regression or an easy version as well is using a foam roller as a pivot point, and you can kind of focus on just bending your back over the foam roller, really focusing on that region of where your foam roller is sitting. So if you want to pick a spot on your back to work on the extension, you can try to think of the foam roller as a pivot point for there. Now we're going to talk about the thread the needle, which is one of my favorite thoracic rotation exercises. To do this exercise, we're going to revisit that 4-point position. What we're going to do is we're going to use our hand as our guide. So we're going to put our hand underneath and we're going to reach to the underarm as best as we can. And then we're going to open up towards the ceiling. Now what I should be feeling is my back stretching and maybe a bit of my chest stretching. What I'm not doing is reaching back with my arm. A lot of people make this mistake as they try and go as far as they can. You're just using it as a guide while you're trying to really focus on the movement being at your chest and your spine here. So really trying to open up to the ceiling. For doing this exercise, you want to be doing anywhere from 1 to 2 sets of anywhere from 10 to 16 to 20 repetitions each side. This is a great exercise to kind of help with opening up that thoracic rotation. A regression to the thread the needle, if you have any arm pain, for example, is just having your elbow tucked and just trying to reach it up and open. So just doing a little bit of a modified version that can sometimes take the pressure off of having our arm fully outstretched. So just doing it so your elbow is tucked. A great progression for thoracic rotation is using a band to add some resistance. What you're going to do is you're going to have your neck and that nice cervical posture we talked about with your chin tilted, ears over your shoulders. You're holding the band perpendicular from your body and you're going to rotate as best as you can to one side. This is a great way to add some resistance and add some load through your thoracic spine to make all those muscles in your core and of your back stronger and more resilient. I like to do this for 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. This is a great progression to add to your gym routine to help with some more load through there, making us more resilient. Lastly, we're going to cover the lumbar spine. So having that lordosis or that little bit of lumbar extension, not having our lumbar totally flexed or over lordotic. We're going to try and find that nice neutral pelvis position. This is really going to be working with our core and finding what's comfortable for us. So to find that nice position in the lumbar, we're going to be laying on our back in supine. We're going to be in our knees in this kind of crooked position. What we're going to do is activate our core by pulling our belly button down into our spine. So I'm not necessarily trying to push my back into the floor, and I'm not necessarily trying to arch my back up off of the floor, but when I find this position of engaging my core by pulling my belly button into my spine, I'm just letting my back settle into whatever is a comfortable position. This just kind of helps work the lumbar area to help it get engaged, working with your core. Now from this, what we're going to do is we're just going to do a single straight leg raise and a hold, bringing it back. All you're doing is just one leg at a time while you're maintaining that core engagement. Now, if this is too easy, you're going to have one leg held up in this 90-degree position, and then you're going to alternate side to side. So this is a bit of a modified dead bug. I usually start this progression after working with people when their acute low back pain starts to calm down. So the key is being able to find what's your neutral lumbar position. So not forcing your back into the floor and not arching your back, but trying to keep your core engaged and letting it find its own happy position. Now, to make this exercise harder, we're going to do a dead bug with an exercise ball. Now I'm setting up. I'm going to make sure my belly button is pulled into my spine so my core is engaged. I've got a little bit of an arch in my back here, but I'm not forcing it up. I'm coming legs up into 90-90 position, and I'm pushing the ball into my hands, and I'm alternating. This really helps to kind of work my core and helps to kind of get everything engaged while maintaining that nice lumbar position. One of my favorite core exercises. You want to do this 2 to 3 sets, anywhere from 8 to 16 or 20 repetitions per side. So we covered our cervical, our thoracic, and our lumbar spine, being able to find that good upright posture and some exercises to work the muscles throughout their range of motion and help to build up some resilience. You can honestly work on your posture daily. Any of the progressed versions where you're adding some resistance or some more load, you want to allow at least 24 hours of rest in between sessions. My next video is going to cover posture in the gym and what is the most powerful posture you should be looking for when you're working out and lifting weights. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment below of something that you'd be interested to see next. Tune in next time.